Hey guys, welcome back to the Montreal Expos franchise, episode 19, the off-season at the end of year 2. We just won the World Series, as I'm sure you guys have known, and if I spoiled that for anyone, I am sorry, but go back and watch the World Series. It was a great episode. As you can see in the front of the jersey, the only change we're making to the home jersey is that the gold lettering, the gold numbering, in the front, to celebrate our first ever World Series championship for the Montreal Expos organization. Expos/Rays first World Series championship. We got the gold numbers in front. That's the only change, though. Nothing in the back. We didn't want to go too crazy. Just want to add a little bit of gold in there to show off our championship winning season. I fixed the catcher's gear to actually make it the team colors. Same thing with the armbands and the undershirts and just all the accessories. I still had the light blue as like a primary color, so I went ahead and fixed that. On the sleeves on the away jerseys, the only thing I changed, I just made it the actual dark blue instead of the light blue. Same thing with the armbands and the catcher's gear on the away jersey as well. Fixed that up because it did look pretty ugly. Someone pointed that out as well in the comments, so thank you for reminding me. Here we're just signing all our prospects back. I pretty much just signed everyone back who wasn't on a major league, the 40-man roster deal. Anyone that, I didn't want to sign the D potential guys that had to make $500K. It just doesn't make sense because those add up. So I let all those guys go and just signed pretty much all the guys worth like 50, 70K, stuff like that. Because we need a farm system. I mean, no matter how bad they are, we still need minor leaguers. So let's just skip that. We're going in. We lost Archie Bradley, so we got to sign a relief pitcher. We got to sign a couple of relief pitchers. We lost Archie Bradley, and Oliver Drake was just getting old. So Alex Claudio was the first guy I looked at. Had a pretty good season. I didn't have a great season last year, but I know he's a good pitcher. We're going to sign him. He's only 30 years old. Went after him for 2 years. I tried to go a little bit lower in price. Switched his roles of bullpen. We're going to 2 years, $7 million, 3.5 a year. That's a very cheap deal for a reliever. He's pretty solid, Alex Claudio. We need a lefty, too, in the bullpen. We have Poche and Alvarado, but another guy we saw is Michael Givens, staying in the division from the Orioles. Going to go to the Expos on a 1-year deal. Pretty cheap 1-year contract for Michael Givens, 2.7 mil. We're going to sign him up too. And the last guy we're going to sign, we're not doing anything splashy this offseason because we just won the World Series. We don't need to do anything splashy. Even though we have a short budget, we don't need to do anything to keep the same team. We lost Kyle Schwarber. Was the only really big bat we lost was Kyle Schwarber, so we needed another power bat like a DH, and I thought Chris Davis was the perfect guy on a 1-year deal to bring in. He's 34, so we're probably not going to sign him after this year. He hasn't played a lot in the last couple seasons, but he's still got that power, so we're going to sign him. Lance McCullers goes to the Giants. Freddie Freeman goes to the Angels, so the Angels are going to be a little tougher to beat if we have to verse them in the playoffs again this year. SYNDERGAARD to the Brewers. Chris Bryant to the Mets, Conforto to the Cubs. They do a little switcheroo. The Giants go after Lindor, 7 years, and the Dodgers get Javi Baez. So the Cubs lost Baez and Bryant. JANSEN goes to the Red Sox. The Giants made a lot of moves. Eddie Rosario to the Braves. That's a good signing. I could see that happening in real life. Manuel Margot. I have not been fond of this guy the whole series. He cannot hit. The outfielders we have are way better. Ian Happ, it was just amazing at the end of the season. He's not going anywhere. So Manuel Margot on his last year, going into his last year of his contract, look at that. He just hasn't played. Only 64 games, only 49 last year, 64 the year before. It's just not working out. We're just going to move on. We're going to trade for 2 Reds prospects who are pretty decent. Nick Lodolo, 23, 72 overall B potential, left-handed starting pitcher. We'll probably see him up if anyone gets hurt. Maybe not this year, but maybe in the future if anyone gets hurt, he'll finally get his chance to play. This guy Ryan Tapia, 72 B potential, a relief pitcher. Looks solid. Here's the big trade though. Yandy Diaz, who we don't need anymore because we want Wander Franco to play full-time. Nick Anderson, who was kind of shaky last year. He played good in the playoffs, but we just didn't trust him. And then Ryan Yarbrough, who, he had a great year starting-wise in the regular season. Didn't do great in the playoffs. That's 69 stamina. I'm convinced that year was a fluke. I'm just convinced it was a fluke. Nick Anderson, His trade value is high right now, but he's 31 years old. He's only getting older, and he did start blowing a lot of saves. I was really pissed at him last season. As you guys probably saw in the gameplay, he almost blew like almost every save he was in. I just wasn't a fan. I was ready to move on from him at the trade deadline, but it just didn't make sense because, we were making a push for the playoffs. So we got Archie Bradley instead, but Archie Bradley didn't do too great. But Nick Anderson started turning around. Anyways, I wasn't just tired of Nick Anderson. We're getting Brandon Woodruff, 90 overall starting pitcher. We had to throw in Brandon Belt to finish his deal. So we took a salary dump from Brandon Belt, so they would give us Brian Woodruff. So Chirinos, Nick Anderson, Yandy Diaz gone. That's a big part of our roster if you think about it. It's 3 big names at the start of the series that are all gone now. Let's look at the roster heading into next season. Snell, Woodruff, Chirinos, McKay, and Balazovic. In the bullpen, Castillo, Alvarado, Poche. Look at Tyler Glass now. We moved him to a reliever because he just wasn't cutting it as a starter. I know that a potential. Don't let it fool you. Every time he started, he got rocked. So we just moved him to the bullpen. He might be our closer this year. I actually don't hate the sound of that. Glass now, he's got nasty stuff. He could be a perfect, elite 1-inning guy. This is not the final roster. This is not the final MLB roster. This is just the roster going into it. We'll fix the MLB roster as we go. That guy Eric Ruiz in minor leagues, we might see him this year if Nate Lowe starts to struggle or anything. Brandon Lowe, David Robertson will probably make the MLB team. We need to call up a few more guys. Wander Franco at third's not going anywhere. Jake Shiner will be on the bench. Brasio will probably be up. It all depends. I haven't played with it yet. Dom is at short, of course. That's a lock. Greg Jones, expect to see him this season. His secondary position is center field. That's probably where we're going to have to move him if we're going to get him in this lineup because he's already 79, a potential 23 years old. We want to get him up this year. I think maybe we'll move Ian Happ over to left. Hunter Renfroe maybe could DH, and then Greg Jones can play center. Chris Davis will start as our DH. It all depends on the year he has. If he's struggling, Greg Jones will be up in center, and we'll just move Ian Happ over to left. And Renfroe can DH or Happ can DH. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Happ will play center, and Meadows is definitely going to play right. We still got Dylan Cousins in the minor leagues. We haven't used him as trade bait yet. We probably should, though. With that A potential, we could probably steal more than we really deserve from him. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this off-season episode. I know we didn't make too much exciting moves, but with the Rays with the Expos, but with the Rays, they don't make a lot of moves in real life, and I'm trying to keep this realistic. I don't like playing a franchise where it's too unrealistic. So Brandon Woodruff just felt like we needed a splash. Starting pitching is definitely good for us, but I feel like Snell and Chirinos are the only consistent guys. We needed another top-end starter, and we got him in Brandon Woodruff. So goodbye to Yarbrough and Nick Anderson and Yandy Diaz. You've been great. We've loved you, but it's time to move on and go on to bigger and better things. We're trying to repeat this season. But anyway, guys, thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one where we'll start off season 3.